Hello, good evening. Welcome to this month's Synthesizer Misuse Department. My name is Bartholomew. Welcome. Here we are, friends. This is my monthly stream where I make some music at my glorious synth rack. Let's have a look at my glorious synth rack. It's looking great in all its glory. Which one is that? Yeah. So we've got some lovely synths up here. And if we go to the other side, I need to switch those buttons because I've got my left and my right the wrong way around on my Stream Deck. We've got some lovely synths to help us make some bleeps and bloops, and we're all going to have a lovely time. Since I was last here, I've had a birthday. I've had quite a dramatic haircut. It's I was looking very fringy on the last stream, almost Johnny Greenwood levels of fringe, and that's a level of fringe to be honest, I can't deal with day to day. So I had to have a little trip to the boneyard on Pilgrim Street and get a little chop. That was really nice. You can't see also have freshly pierced ears. You can't see that under my big headphones. Bit pointless. But yeah, we are here and ready to make some music today, which I'm really excited about. So some of you might have tuned in for, I am seeing a little wave from Amy Bartholomew Fox. I can't imagine who that is. No, I jest, that's my darling wife. So yes, if you were here from the last Synthesizer Misuse Department, we were having a run through of this Super Beat Maker. It's a music making RPG made by John Makes Beats, John Wayne, and it is designed as a sort of like composition aid for traditionally beat makers, but musicians and electronic musicians of all kinds. And yeah, so when we started it, this was beta version 1.6. 1.7's come out now, but I think we're halfway through a run. Why are we gonna start change the rules halfway through? They say. So we will carry on with that, and I think what would be great place to start is to see what we did in the last stream. So let's have a look at the iPad. For those who haven't been here before, this is Drambo, a wonderful iPad modular groove box made by Beep Street. It is, if anyone's used Ableton and Max for Live, it does a lot of similar things. Everything's really like interactive and controllable, and it's great. I've managed to make a template that works exactly how I want it to, and just gives me loads of space to play. So we started last month's stream by spending quite a long time writing some chords, and we got to this place. Let's see what chord. Let's have a little look at that if we can. Here we go. Oh, so a little flat 5, not 7, and then some other things. And I can't name all these chords off the top of my head. And they sounded great when we made them, and that's all that counts, right? Some nice little like resolving upwards and downwards, and enough crunch to keep things harmonically interesting, but there's some nice things happening. And as I said at the time, like really, this is the bones. This is the hat stand that we're going to hang our coat of music on, and I do love a mixed metaphor, and so we spent a good long time on it, and that meant that we ended up with some lovely chords that we could then use as like the basis for sequences and arpeggiators to get stuff like this. So our first channel sounds a bit like this. And that is, we've basically taken our chords, and I think we've actually slowed them down quite a long way. Yeah, so we're running this at quarter speed. So, hit the mic, why don't you, Chris? Yeah, so we're running the chords at quarter speed. Why are we doing that? Because they're really nice chords, and we can bear not to keep on looping around them. Just stay in the same place. There's some really nice feelings of like nostalgia in that harmonic language that I absolutely love. So here we've got an instance of step polyarp, which is a gorgeous sequencer and arpeggiator that's a bit like Cthulhu by Xfer. Is it Crossfer? Xfer? Who the people that make Serum make a very similar product plugin, and Steve Duda, yeah, make a really similar thing called Cthulhu, and I love it. It's really great for doing like generative and polyrhythmic and all of your Steve Reich needs are really easy to get in this plugin. So at the moment, I've got the chords being triggered on a rhythm, and then an extra octave above being triggered just every second semiquaver once every time it goes round. But if I wanted that octave to re-trigger more, we can change the length of that pattern. Which is quite nice. So we can do all sorts of those kind of things. But we've got quite a lot of complexity in this piece already, so we're not gonna futz around too much with that. And that is playing an instance of Sunriser, which made by Beep Street, who made Drambo as well. And to my knowledge, and then someone please correct me on this, I can't remember whether, I think it's designed to be like a emulation of a Roland Jupiter 80. And it's great for like those like 90s rave vibes. I really dig it. It's really lovely. On channel 2, again, we've got another like arpeggio sequence based on those same chords, and this time we're doing that with a sample from the Indian harmonium just off to my left that we recorded into Sample Wiz, and then we're using the internal arpeggiator from Sample Wiz. That's all good stuff. We've got a bass line, and where we finished last time, we were just beginning to look at a new sound for that bass line. And then the audio interface that took the stream audio in exploded and into a cloud of white noise, and that was a pain. Quite oral pain, I think, in a lot of ways. And so we never really got a chance to look at that. And then on the percussive end of things, the main drums we've got are a drum break that we've chopped up, and we had quite a strict mutation that we were only allowed to use 3 notes per bar, or like 3 slices per bar of the drum break. I really like that. I can't remember what drum break it is. Oh god. Is it going to tell me? No, of course it's not. That's fine. It's a nice drum break. It's doing a slight, like, kind of half-steppy thing. We'll glitch that in a bit and get a bit more variety and a bit more sound shaping into it. It feels very clean. It feels, yeah. Soulless is maybe too harsh, but it's definitely on the clinical end of things, and I think we could do with a bit more vibe to them, which we'll get to. And then And then we had a great bit of misfortune with our drums, our first drums room, and our mutation, which was our like compositional limitation for that room, was that all the sounds had to go through a 1 kilohertz high pass filter. Now, that might sound really techie, but the layman version of that is no low end in your drums whatsoever. Um, and so you end up with some essentially some percussion. Um, I opted to use this like to kind of create some white noise out of it, which again I think we can maybe tidy that up a bit or like find something. Conceptually, I like it. I don't think we've fully explored that idea yet. So that's definitely on the agenda for this evening. Is what can we do to make that feel a bit more alive? And I think we there was a point at which we had to get rid of like quite a lot of those drums, and we that made me sad. So I cheated and I saved it as a loop, and we've got that on my Loopy Pro channel. What have I done? Oh, there we go. There we go. That is absolutely delicious. We don't need to map anything. There we go. So, we're in a really lovely place for this evening's stream. So the first thing that I want to do, I think one of the challenges with Super Beat Maker is that it's designed for beat makers, where essentially what you're doing is you're creating a like 16 32 bar loop, and then you're separating out different elements of that to create your overall arrangement. So you might start with just maybe like a keys part, and then 16 bars later is where you drop in your drums and your bass, and then maybe you then lose your keys part and you've got another synth that comes in but with the same drum and the bass. And that is like a really common way of arranging a hip hop beat. But it's I find that a bit too limiting for it doesn't quite fit this kind of music that I want to make anyway. So I think the first thing that we want to do is start like defining at the very least an A and a B section. So A and B section. Oh, I can't. This is the first time of using like the writing on the iPad, and it's an idea that I've totally ripped off from. Oh God, I don't even know. Pirate Software. Yeah, I was always seeing like short form content where he was writing stuff. I thought it was a really good idea. So we'd like to define some A and B sections, and that works really nicely because at the moment we've got an issue with our bass line not fitting one of the chords. It's sitting on a note which just feels way too clashy. Bass doesn't fitting. Oh, good, great. Well, let's keep my inability to speak as to talk and write for posterity. Um, so I think to do that, we're basically going to have our main chord loop, which we have already. And then I think we probably want a sub chord loop that is like that is maybe just like 2 or 3 chords from our loop, which may just like oscillate back and forward. And because that will give us some simpler harmony that we can actually like maybe create a slightly more complex bass line with, or but anyway, that is to come. So I think that is going to be our our B section is going to be our sub chord loop, and our main chord loop we need to fix a bass note. And I know a little bit of Blue Peterage. I know exactly where that bass note is because I found it just before we started the stream. And it's a real shame. Then I think we are we're going to make our sub chord loop, and we will. That's going to be a kind of separate thing from the RPG run, but that's just going to let us define our B section, and then we'll go back into work. Once we've defined our B section, we'll go back into working with our um, Super Beat Maker rules and mutations and all that good stuff um, to flesh out our B section. But I think the first thing that we want to do is fix that bass note and then create our little subchord loop. So we are at 7:30. Let's try and get those two things done by 8 o'clock at the latest. No, doesn't need to be half an hour. Okay, first thing we need to do is fix that bass. So let's hit our synths and our bass. And Chev, whilst I could do with just a little bit more track, uh, behind the scenes, we are doing some live mixing of the audio for the stream, and I put some things on DCA thinking it wouldn't affect my headphone feed, and it affects my headphone feed. So we'll get there. As I say, this stream is very much a work in progress. You are with us as we iron out the technical kinks that make live production what it is. And have we lost a camera? No, we haven't. It's just my arm is over there. Let's angle it in a little bit more just so we've got a bit more view of what's going on. Lovely. Yeah, there we go. That's a bit nicer. We can see some things. Quick swig of coffee. Thank you to Tynemouth Coffee Co. For sending me a new keep mug, a new travel mug. Let's do that again. No one's watching, so I'm going to take a second run at that one. Thank you to Tynemouth Coffee Company for sending me a new travel mug. This is not an ad, but I've been buying coffee from Tynemouth since I moved to Newcastle, and it's great. And this travel mug is one of manages to satisfy two very specific needs. It's the right diameter for an AeroPress at the top and the right diameter for my car cup holder at the bottom. And somehow they've chosen exactly the right shape. So thanks, Tynemouth. That's really nice. Lovely. Okay, so we are back in here. I know exactly which bass note it is. So let's just listen through. I'm going to change the bass sound as well. Oh, there is. It's that one that we just got to where the chord changes. The upper notes of the chord change the second time we go around the loop, but the bass note stays the same. Annoyingly, there's not that great a way within Drambo to loop around a subsection like that because it's non-timeline based. It's all clip based. But let's go in and have a look and do a little bit of chord analysis and see whether we can find whether we can. Because I think trial and error is going to take too long and be very unengaging to watch. It's getting warm in here already. Delightful. So we need to open up our piano roll and for our chords, and it is the one at the beginning of bar 5, and that is C in the bass, C in the top voice. Oh, crumbs. Is that our C major flat 5 again? Is it really? Okay. So this is another thing that's happening, is that our bass is okay. This is our issue, right? Is that our bass is going around everything. Sorry, use your words, Chris. The bass is going around the chord sequence, I think, at double the speed that the other chords are. Because okay, so this is 8 bars, but we're playing it at a quarter of the speed, so it makes it a 32 bar loop. Whereas I can see that our bass is actually just a 16 bar loop. So essentially, we're getting the wrong chords over the wrong bass. That is going to be a slightly annoying thing to fix. Is it? No, it's not. Hey, we are going to be all right. So all we need to do is take. I think if we just slow this by half, if we just play this back at half speed. Interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So those both should be 32 bar patterns. Okay, well, that math isn't mathing. Okay. So these are now definitely running at the same speed. I think it's all taking a bit too long now, and we're now in that like again that like Steve Reich minimalism land, which isn't quite what we're looking for. So I think we are going to make everything go a bit quicker. Let's double the speed of these from what they were. Okay, there we are. That's going to be our A section, right? I think that's really nice. I think all we want to do now is basically take two, two or three chords which we can oscillate round in our synths, and maybe do something a little spicier baseline with, right? So let's go back to just our. There's a reason why this is called quant control, and I will tell you another time. But let's go and find a couple of. Okay, that's really nice. So let us. What's the best way of doing this? So that's E minus 7, C minus 7. makes that a bit nicer than this. So let's create a new. Is then add section. There we go. And it might be. Okay. Duplicate. Hopefully, if we add a section before this, we can then make that loop, you know, if not infinitely, then enough to help us with the writing of this. So edit section play count. We'll have go around 32 times. So it was E minor 7. 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So 2 bars of E minor 7. Do that with a breve. See, like I know in America they have different words for all these note values, and some of I do kind of get that they make sense. I just like they're really fun words to say. Like I just like saying breathe. I think we might need that on a breathe. Like and a semiquaver and a quaver. You know, like those are nice words to say. We don't. Yeah, I know they're 8th and 16th notes, and it's anyway. Okay, I'm turning into a Luddite, aren't I? Oh, that's doing something that it's not meant to. Oh, crikey. Okay. Oh, okay. I'm just having a moment where. Oh, I just need to go to an empty clip for this. Of course I do. I don't know why that's not looping around. There we go. So I think we want to go around that like copy, and then how do we do how did we do it before? Was it a hold? Yeah. Great. Let's go paste below, because I think we're going to go around this like a few good times, right? Copy. Oh. Don't have crash suggester. That would be sad. You were doing so well. Again, I do think we need to do a little bit of work on the voicings for this. Has everything just crashed? Ah, delightful. And this is why we save it fairly regularly. Yeah, just helps. Delightful. Okay, so let's open stream 3, which we hopefully saved before bad stuff happened. Ah, have I lost all the things? Oh, that's incredibly upsetting. Yes. Okay, so it suggested, but it was. I know I was in C Lydian, and we were looking for an E minor 7, so we'll alter E minor 7. In fact, actually, it might just be quicker to do it this way. yeah. 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4. So that's 2 bars, 2 bars. Yeah. So we need to do another time round. E minor 7. Where did E minor 7 go? Why are you hiding from me? E minor 7, C minor 7, and then D, and then E minor. This is. We want these all to be. Well, we actually don't need them because we can just. I'm pretty happy that these are the notes that we're going to use. So, or these are going to be the chords that we use for our our next section. So let's record this. So we need this pattern to be however long that is. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 bars. 3, 4. And we'll hit record there. And that doesn't feel like what. Yeah, that feels like has that skipped something? Ah, it's weird. Yeah, it's skipping that one for some reason. It's decided that it really just doesn't like that chord. Okay, let's clear that out. See whether we can Okay, that's fine. We can edit that to be what we want it to be. Which I didn't really want to have to do a load of MIDI editing on this stream because we did quite a lot on the last time, and to be honest, it makes me sad. So I don't know how it makes the rest of you feel, but hopefully we can. Then we want to take repeat that. Oh, well, that's not gone to plan. Why don't we? Oh. I don't have no idea what just happened there. But again, if there's one thing that I could change about working on the iPad, it is just how incredibly awkward the MIDI editing is. Okay, let's get rid of those. Clear that. Yeah. See what? I just don't understand you. Repeat. Okay, so now we can slow this down by 4. Okay, so why is that only playing? Okay, so I mean, it's not going to set the world on fire, but it kind of don't want it to, right? Because the point of this section is that we want it to like we want it to be a bit of like not relief, but like a simpler place to be. What we are going to do is take those bass notes out. I do not know why this is not There's a rogue. Is there a rogue note down there? God, I'm almost glad there's almost nobody watching this. Let's watch Chris fight the iPad. Okay. All fine and dandy. Let's copy that onto, we just need to copy the notes because there's automation hidden. Copy that into our two synths, paste. Let's see how that sounds let's do a little save. Cool. So let's unsolo that one. Okay, so we've got that in. It's running way too quick. We want that running about quarter speed. And then great. And so now when we start moving on to making our bass line, we can make that a bit spicier because we've got simple harmony going on, whereas before we were just essentially having to follow the root notes. So now we can actually do something a bit more exciting. And this will be probably where we add like maybe some vocal chops or like another like big element to kind of support that, I think. Lovely. So what have we done? Switch back to Procreate. Let's go to red. There we go. So we have fixed our bass problems here, and we've made our like subchord loop. So I think next on the agenda is new bass line for loop B, and then we'll get back into super beat maker. Woo! I kind of want to change my bass sound, but I think let's make a pattern. Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna, and I might just try and record this in straight off the dome. Yeah, I think that should work. And then the ending was D-E, so we could end up on... And I have not made this a long enough loop, so we'll fix that. Okay, here we go. kind of really, really nice. And yeah, I'm enjoying that a lot. Just turn down the click in my ears a little bit. Okay, I'm a massive fan of that already. Let's do a very quick save. I think that's in a really, really lovely place. Um, Fantastic. Okay, I mean, it is quiet on the stream tonight, isn't it, Chef? I think last time we had 150 people, so I don't know. I don't know how these things work. All I know is that we are hopefully going to finish this evening with a really lovely piece of music. So I think our next thing to do is to roll the die on a new track because we've still got some tracks left over. We've got nothing on synth 4, we've got nothing on synth 5. So let's have a let's see how we do this. So we are creating a track, synth 4. We want to declare the kind of track. Our options are. I wonder if I actually just. I'm really tempted just to roll the dice and see what we get. Okay, we're going to roll the dice. We're not going to be bound by it, but we are going to roll the dice and see what kind of track type we get. So, 27. That is bass. We kind of already have a bass. So I'm going to re-roll that because actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to use this as a chance to, yeah, as a chance to change my bass sound. So we've just written our bass. We'll re-edit this so that it goes in the other way. And because no one's watching the stream live, they'll never know. Certainly, we are hiding from the creative gods, and that's totally fine because we've got something we like. So we will go and use this as an opportunity to work on our bass sound. I haven't decided what synth that's going to be yet. Might be the Micro Freak, because I think I want something a little bit digital and like quite a happy tune so far. And I think we might actually want something with a bit of grit to it. So maybe Micro Freak and some pedals. Maybe. Gorgeous. So that means we need to do a curse check. Hit the button for a curse check. That is 76, which I believe does mean that is a curse on a previous track or on a track that exists. So I've sort of kind of lost track of what tracks we've done in what order, but let's have a look anyway. So 59 is the loudest track. I think that's this one, track number 2. That's sounding crunchy as hell at the moment, in a way that I'm not sure I actually like. So let's see what the curse is, and then we might actually go and just give that sound a little tweak, maybe, or no, we'll leave it. Oh, sorry, I was supposed to do a modifier to see whether it is that track. So 31, the track before. Okay, so we're looking at track 1. And I'm going to say we're doing this in our B section. And then what is our curse? Our curse is curses. Curses. Here we go. Come on, rolling animation. 38. Run target track through distortion. Okay, all right. I mean, I'm not sure it needs it. It already has distortion on it. Okay, well, I'm going to say that I'm going to change the distortion of my wave shaper. Okay, and then I have to roll for the dry wet amount, I think. So let's do that. And 91% distorted. Great. Sometimes this whole game just makes me quite sad. Anyway, we'll roll with it. We know that this is a work in progress and something that we can always fix or like change down the line. This game is only as good as is it doing something we find interesting, yay or nay. Why couldn't it have been the drums? They really need some distortion. That synth just needs some looking after and making nice. Anyway, okay, so we have had a curse in that's all fine. So we can now go and work on our bass sound a bit. Here we go. Let's have our bass sound. Okay, so if our like that's all feeling like quite noisy and harsh. So actually, maybe we do want to do something from the Micro Freak, but maybe we want to make it rather than lots of big and noisy. Maybe we want to do it quite gently. So let us swap out this for where are you? It's just called Freak. Good. Oh. Okay, you receiving MIDI? Yes, you are. To be fair, I actually haven't used this in a little bit. That feels like it might be going through a pedal. Let's have a quick trip to pedal town. I mean, I do like that. Can't pretend that I don't. Just a little bit of something. All right, let's take a trip up to the Micro Freak, and we'll just bring a camera in. Oh, a little bit of seasickness. I hope that didn't give anyone the slight discomfort. Anyway, here we go. Up there. Cool. So anytime I switch on the Micro Freak at the moment, it just loads up to a patch that I made for the live version of a tune called Hinterland. That is from my first album. So let's go 22. And let's save this off the bat. And it is going to be a bass, and we're going to call this Let's call this Jolly. It's quite a jolly piece. Let's call it Jolt. Yeah, Jolt's nice. Oh, this synth isn't quite sat on that nicely, is it? Is there something in the way? Yeah. There we go. That's fitting a bit nicer. Elbowed the camera there. Nice, solid work. Cool. Wonder if we can get this in a little closer without getting massively in the way, because it's a little bit hard to see what I'm doing. So the Microfreak is a digital synth, and it has loads of different oscillator modes within it. Sort of a bit like the Mutable Braids, in that, yeah, it can do lots of different sound types, but really, it does excel at doing really characterful basses, I find. So let's run our bass on its own. Okay, let's start by just resetting everything. Okay. Why has it done that? What did I do? Okay. There we go. So we'll hit panel, and that just basically tells the Microfreak to go, okay, get all the settings from the knobs that are there on the panel. And, oh Christ, the elbows are on fire today. Yeah, so basically put the settings that the knobs are currently on the device actually onto it. So let's... Okay, that's really nice. I think we want... we need a bit more volume for this, because this is a bit quiet. And then I think we want to take a little journey into the deepest, darkest place of the... oh, God, what's it called? Again, no one's here, so it doesn't matter. We might need to take a little dive into the murky world of MIDI implementation charts, because I think our two main controls that we want to use to shape this bass and to make it like really animated are going to be the filter envelope amount, so we can kind of change that, and then our attack time. I think that's going to be really nice. I'm so tempted to run this through some distortion as well. Okay, I think let's try running it through the distortion on the Boss 202 loop station, which is down here. And again, one of those boxes that I've just never quite managed to part with. Oh no. Okay, it's either that or the Chaos Pad. I think it's this. I do really love that bass pattern though. So we want this to go... I think we want this to go to the the 202 before we go there. And I'm not like... My patch bay is reasonably well labelled, but I cannot see where the 202 is. Is it even? I mean, it's got cables in the back of it, which means I probably did patch it in somewhere. Let's take a guess that it is in there. And then this one, we want to go into. I mean, no prizes for having an unlabeled patch bay, obviously, but it's a fairly good guess. Yeah. Okay. I think we're there. I think we're there. I think that's a sound that we can come to love. And yeah. Okay. Give me one quick second, and we'll be back in just a moment. Gorgeous. Just a brief, very brief interlude there. But so we've got our bass doing some stuff. I think we want to have a quick look at the MIDI implementation chart for this, and I'm not actually going to do that in front of everyone because that means doing a bit of web browsing. So I think we're going to take a little 5 minutes there. I'm going to find some MIDI CCs. I'm going to take off my hoodie because it's warm, and I was going to say consequences be damned. I've forgotten that I was gonna say something funny then, but anyway, small break. Bye. it was going to be a quick break, but we are back. Um, so yeah, we are nearly half. Well, we're halfway through our second stream working on this tune, and it feels like we haven't done that much, but we've got. I really love the ideas that we've got, and it sort of reminds me of. I think it was my first lecture in composition when I was at music college with the wonderful Kate Romano, and who just was so inspirational as a teacher, and I have so much respect for, and I mean partly for putting up with me as a stroppy 18-year-old, but anyway, um, yeah, the two exercises she had us do was write. Here's 10 minutes to write 1 minute of music, and then here's 1 minute to write 10 minutes of music. Um, and those, I think we're very much in the 10 minutes to write 1 minute of music era here. And that's totally fine. Sometimes it takes a long time for these things to evolve. They are, yeah, they're slightly finicky, and they take a little time, and it's worth just slowing down and enjoying this journey. And I think certainly as someone who's not doing this full time at the moment, like that could be a bit frustrating because it's like, oh no, wouldn't it be great to release tunes every week or write a new piece every stream? And it's like, yeah, that would be great, but also, like, let's just enjoy the process and just enjoy what we're doing. Um, so I we've got. I really like the bass line we've got there. I've decided that I don't. I am just going to kill that distortion on that synth. It needs to be clean. Else, there's just it's such a like so many stabs, so much chordy stuff happening that if we let that um yeah if we spend too much time um yeah if we make that too if we that first synth has got so much going on that if we then try and add distortion, there's going to be so much complexity to the sound that we're going to lose actually the detail in the chords. We're going to lose some of the the quality of the synth sound, and I'm not. Yeah, I defy the dice. I defy them. So I think that's fine. And you know what? I think from this point onwards, no, we are going to carry on you doing some using the Super Beat Maker stuff. But I'm giving myself absolute freedom to say no. That's a horrible idea because you know what? I'm the artist. I get to make those decisions, and that's fine. So we're going to do a quick save, and yeah, really like where this is. I think to make this a functional piece, what we're going to end up doing is um, actually just making instead of each of these patterns or scenes in Drambo being a section, there it's probably more likely that now that we've got our two like main bits of harmonic meat, that we can then make some little sections which are just like maybe one chord held, and that so that when we're improvising our piece at the end, we can just cut between those. But anyway, so I think we are going to have a new track. We're going to and what we're going to do is it's going to be our we're going to have another go at our sample chop drums, um, and we'll have a mutation that kind of affects our writing of this pattern. And because of the way that I've got this sample koala set up, it's going through um, Effectrix, which is like an effect sequencer. So as we play this, you can see essentially I can add effects at different points. So okay, that didn't do anything. I'm painfully aware of that. But let's put on total delay. So yeah, like we can have these effects come in and out. And what that means for us is when we're using Super Beat Maker is we can if the limitation is that our drums for this section have to have a different have to have an effect over them, then we can do that separately on this pattern to anything else that's happening. We could do that with automation anyway, but it's kind of really nice to be able to do that with Effectrix on this. Cool. So we've declared our room, so which means we now need to roll our curse check. And that is 55. No curse. Thank God for that. Didn't want to put distortion on something else and then feel bad about it. Groovy. So our mutation for this track is going to be 56. Oh, wrong piece of paper. 56 must pass through a 1. So this one must pass through a 1 kilohertz high pass filter in this pattern. We've already had this. I seem to keep on rolling this mutation, and it does drive me slightly up the wall. So anyway, fortunately, we can do that really easily. But we're in the wrong pattern. So let's get rid of that, and we want to select our next pattern down. That's interesting. I don't get MIDI. I don't get visual feedback on this track for some reason. I'll have to look into that. But anyway, so let's have some stuff so that we're not just writing isolation. So we need to put our filter on this pattern. The good news is that does mean I can have as many chops as I like on this track. So we want filter type to be high pass. I don't know if we can envelope follow. Oh yeah, we can make this a specific frequency in Effectrix. Okay, let's just make a shaker pattern, and then we will layer some more drums with this at another time. Okay, let's I'm just going to program this by hand actually. So it was up to find where it is. Is that G3, I think? Yeah, and cool. We'll do some of this by hand. And then dig it. Yeah, that's all fine. So I think something like that should work. I think, yeah, all right, okay. This high pass filter business is just incredibly frustrating because it's like or I don't know, maybe I should submit myself more to the rhythm, the vibe of it, but it is just like I kind of just want to do something like it restricts what you're doing so much. Okay, let's give that a little save. And then Okay, so that is really insistent. I don't know. It maybe it implies a section where, like, rather than having like those chords going all the time, where we've got like bigger, like that stays as the pulse, and then do 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 do. So like, rather than the chords, yeah, being constant, they kind of chunk in and out. Um, I don't hate this. This is this has given me an idea which I might not have had before, and that's kind of fine. Um, oh, I was doing the wrong one. I want sample rate. Let's clear all that out. Um, that's that's got something to it. So yeah, I think this is actually going to be our third pattern, um, or like our third idea. So we're going to need something to go along with this. Oh, see, I think this is where Super Beatmaker is kind of interesting and good but bad, right? Because it is slowing down my artistic intentions and it's slowing down my like instinct and making me think more about what I'm doing, which in some ways is a bit frustrating because it's like, oh, I kind of know what I want to do, right? Um, but that is pushing me into some other directions, and that's cool. But also, like, yeah, yeah, it's a really interesting thing. We're not going to do another stream of Super Beat Maker. This is going to be, I think, where we get to. Um, I don't know. We might revisit it in the future, but for now, I think we're gonna see what we have at 9 o'clock in half an hour, and then yeah, and because I feel like I could keep on going for this for at least another 2 hours, and I don't know how interesting that is for everyone to watch. I don't know. We'll find out. I will clip some bits out of this stream and the last one, and if people are vibing on it, then we'll carry on and do some more. But um, yeah, at the moment, this is feeling like really hard work, and I'm really enjoying the results of the hard work. It's no bad thing for things to feel like effort, but um, yeah, it's maybe making things not flow quite as much as they could do, which is where the tension between being a musician and making content kind of comes into play. All right, let us go. So okay. So as I say, so that's going to be a separate pattern that we do. Um, we're going to drop that into pattern 3. And we'll just strip that out of. Is there a way to copy? No, that's fine. So we can just go in and strip this out of this pattern, I think. Oh, God. There we go. Clear that. Have a little save. And we'll just make sure that this goes on to there. And that's for reasons that no one apart from me needs to worry about. Okay. So I think the next thing we're going to want is another synth track on this. So let's do a roll our curse check. No curse. That's very good. So let's roll our mutation. Oh, we'll wait for the dice to reset. Oh, they have 24 on our mutation chart. Is no two note slices may overlap. Okay, so that means that if we're programming these synth lines, then they have to be monophonic. Cool. Something like that, and then we'll no, I think we want a new synth sound for this, so that's fine. We'll go on to synth 4, and we want, yeah, like something quite big and stabby. Quick trip down the. Do I want to do this on anything from here? No, I haven't tuned the modular. Apologies. Let's stay in the world of software just for the sake of time more than anything. Let's go. Let's have a quick look through some Shockwave presets because I quite like it, but I can never be asked to program it. I'm sorry if you are the person who makes Shockwave. It's not you. It's me. Let's go for a lead. We're on 4. That's too much like our bass. I think we actually I think viral. That's the Access Virus emulator. Let's do. We want this to be like really thick and big. Yeah. So we'll just pull this one down a little bit. Great. That's kind of beginning to get there. We do want it to feel like unison. Yes. Okay, and then we kind of need to modernize this a bit, and the way we do that is F. What is F? I mean, that is There we go. That's nice and big. Let's get some distortion on there. Let's have fusion. And some woot. Okay. Always start with the amount on 0, and then on the desktop version, I know that 8% is like enough that I feel it, but not so much that it's like feels too big. And then we're going to go for, do we have a little bit of reverb on this plugin? Verb size. I think we want this to be, yeah, we want this to be big and stabby, and let's turn it up a bit. And we'll probably layer some toppier stuff over the top. Might like copy this into our other synth parts, but like for now, it'd be quite nice if it was like not a, because everything at the moment is in really regular like multiples of 4. So it'd be quite nice if this was like a bar of 4 and then like a bar of 5. I can't, off the top of my head, especially at 2029, play that in my brain, but one, two. I think let's make this pattern in 5. Let's have it in, yeah, as 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. The counting's in 4, but I need to play it in 5. Ugh. Undo. 2, 3, 4. Oh, am I just in exactly the wrong pattern? Yes, I am. I've just deleted that information, but that's fine. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here we go. I am struggling with this. There we go. That I quite like. So let's crop that there, and then Now there is a bug. Oh. Okay, hopefully. Yeah, we just need to drag these back. Okay, that's kind of cool. Harmonically, we're in kind of a nice place. I'm going to take those. I'm going to take that pattern, and we're going to copy it onto some other onto. This 10 bars, I think. Paste. And then we'll take all those and okay, and we'll do the same onto this one as well. And then I think we're going to use our 5th channel to find some like weird noises. It's probably going to be vocal chops that we can then stick over those to do some weird things. And I would like to animate that synth line a bit more. I do not know how we get from I have no idea how those two things fit together. But that is the joy of this thing. So we've got some really nice stuff here. I'm just going to crack on with doing some bits. We're going to throw out the rule book, throw it away, and because we've just got some lovely stuff. Like. Let us do some work on these drums, just to get the whole thing vibing a little bit more, and then I think we'll call that a night, and I will go and finish this and turn it into the glorious thing that, like, it's such a beautiful piece, and I've really been like tying my hands back from touching this before we could get back on a stream, but there's too much in it for me to wrangle while I'm chatting, so yeah, we're gonna get there. So I think the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to take that, you know, the high passed koala loop, and send that out of our resample. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. And that means it will come back into Loopy, or it should be coming back into Loopy Pro. I might have to do a bit of routing. Or can I just export this as a export audio? Just export current pattern. Who knows where this is going to end up on the mystery that is the iPad filing system. It could be anywhere. Delicious. Okay, so let's call this Stream 3 HBF percussion save. And I'm doing this because I want to put some more effects on those drums, and I feel like if I do that, then I might lose the work that I've already done. So again, this is one of the joys, and I say joys of using a system that like encourages you to make creative decisions and to like commit to things, is that you know, there's a little bit of extra admin, a little bit of extra like upkeep, but yeah, it is a really important thing, I think, for me, and like the way I write is like, no, commit to things, make decisions, and believe in yourself. Gross. Okay, if we play that, what happens? Did that actually capture the audio output? I mean, I'm not hearing anything. No, I mean, that is incredibly silent. So we'll clear that, and we'll it should be coming back into there, isn't it? Oh no, it's not, because I need to do the routing, and let's find touch OSC. Oh, this could cause all sorts of problems, but we want that to be iPad resample. Hopefully this is just going to be fine. It's too late for it not. Hey. Okay. Well, I'm not sure that's totally in time, because there's, as always, a bit of latency compensation that we have to do manually. How do I get the edit? Oh god, it's clipped to hell as well. Okay, I think that's fixed that loop. So that's fine. We'll leave that down there, and we know we're working up here on our koala. Groovy. So this does feel like this might need like some extra like percussion-y stuff, but let's go in and and we've already got a bit of like, no. iPad is getting warm. She is maybe had enough for this evening, but that's fine. Okay, let's dial in some effects. A little bit. Okay, that is exactly what we want. We just want it a little bit further. Again, that's nice, but we don't want it quite so early in the loop. Ah, crikey. Again, we don't want to go like too far with this because it is like the meat and potatoes of like our rhythm section on this tune at the moment. Okay, where's that one gone? Okay, are you? Why am I not hearing that? Has something crashed? Really weird. When I fade in that channel, something very odd happens. I wonder if that's mapped to anything. Really weird how, like, when I fade in the second synth, something else seems to happen. Okay, I think we're going to leave that there. There is so much more work to do on this tune, and that's fine. But it is. I'm annoyed. I'm frustrated because I want it to be in a place where I can really play it and perform with it. And I mean that will happen. That will absolutely happen. And I just need to chill my beans a little bit because like it sounds great. Like I'm loving. Okay, maybe I'm blowing my own trumpet a little bit, but I love how it's sounding. I love the chords we've got. We've got some really nice synth sounds. I think I'm just stressing out a little bit trying to do it under pressure. And so I think we're going to leave the stream there for this evening. If you were one of the 8 people who tuned in at various moments, thank you so much. It means such a huge amount. As always, huge thanks to Chev, my wonderful stream tech, giving me so much help and giving me so much confidence in this. The joyous Kunal, who usually, I mean, I'm genuinely glad he's not watching this evening because that hopefully means he's out doing having a really lovely time because he is just the best. And yeah, we're gonna call it there for the night. And yeah, we'll see you next month. Thank you all so much.